to the cloud. As you can see, I'm your host, Brianna Green.
You've grown some facial hair.
I know. I've been taking some testosterone with my keto diet. What's going on, guys?
Man, how you doing?
Oh, good. Working on week 4, trying to stay ahead of all you guys here. Let me see if I can get some. Am I using, which microphone am I using here?
Hey, Christina, I'll go over and look in the group and see if there's any questions we can pull out.
Okay, sounds good. Might want to also let everyone know that we're on now.
All right.
Okay, I've got my right microphone on. I recorded video 1 this week without having my microphone on, and it sounds like garbage. So luckily, it's only a 2-minute video. All right. We are on. Let's, I am here. No mic, no cam. That's from AA Test again. Okay. Every single person here is AA Test. I think that's hilarious. All right. Let me pull up week 3. And I'm going to pull up my week 3. What questions do you guys have? I expected this week to be an interesting week. I have no idea why that identifies me that way. Oh no. Hi, Darlene. Let's see. Pull this up. All right. I'm just going to start going down the goals and kind of going through my sheet. If you guys have questions on any of the stuff that you have, let me know, and we'll go from there. Do we have any submitted questions, Christina?
Sorry. No, we didn't get any this week. So.
Oh, you guys must have everything good. Okay, well then we'll have a good day.
Yeah.
Let's see. My question is on how on earth do I decide which brand name to go with? That's from Laura. Let's see. Which Laura? What niche are you in? And what are your potential brand names? I would say the first thing that you want to do is, if you have it narrowed down to 3, check to see if the domain's available. If the domain's not available, then cross it off the list. And I would look for .coms.
Oh, she's the one that is doing the vegan/veggie.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember that. I saw that discussion in there.
Yeah.
You're just gonna at some point you're gonna have to just pull the Band-Aid off and figure out what it is, which one you want to go with. I saw a couple good ones in the group there for the vegan one. Somebody had mentioned, what was the other language? Verd? Green?
Oh, yeah, that would be French.
Yeah. The veggie, I feel like veggie is almost too specific. When I think of vegans and vegetarianism, I think of clean eating. I always call it clean eating when you're eating stuff that isn't steak and all the when you're not eating, I don't know, just eating clean. That's how I think of clean
raw
eating.
foods. Yeah.
Raw foods. Yeah, it could be raw might actually be a good word to build a brand around with that. Let's see. Darlene, can you tell me what you think of a couple names? Sure, go ahead and fire them in there. Can you tell me if there's a way to see what colors are being used on a website? Christina, what's your tool? I that helps me pick those. It's a Chrome extension, but I don't think I have it turned on right now.
Yeah, it's called the eyedropper. Let me see if I can drop it into the chat.
I think I use Color Picker from Chrome as well. Yeah, Color Pick Eyedropper, Google Chrome
Yep.
extension.
Yep.
Let me put that in the chat there.
You
Let's
got it?
see. Yep, that's
Okay.
the Google Chrome extension for. And if you just turn it on, and then you can hover over whatever color and click on it, and you should be good to go. And then there's different palettes that you can use too. So if you have a starting color, there are websites that you can go to that will help you do that. That will help you kind of see other secondary and third colors that will work well with your primary color. So if you figure out your primary color, then you can go and find is it a color template or a color swatch or something like that. That would be what I would search in Google. Let's see.
I can drop that article in there too, Aaron, that I found for colors, for brand colors.
Yeah, throw that. Go ahead and throw that in there too. I'm doing clothing. I'm doing clothing and trying to figure out a value proposition. Okay. Your unique value proposition is going to be tied closely, normally, to the benefits of your brand. So, who asked that? Is that Jill? I'm having trouble seeing the full names. If you're having trouble figuring out your value proposition, look to the benefits of your brand. The benefits will normally tell you they'll point you in the right direction of your unique value proposition. And, for example, everybody's seen me do my work, which is for Dr. Wigglebutts. And my unique proposition is basically you can help a dog. And that's if I may not go with the donation aspect of it right off the front. I'm still kind of figuring it out as well. I kind of see that as something that I might add if I have to. But basically, it's a way for people to show their love for their pet. And it helps, while they're doing that, they can help employ working mothers. And I think it is unique to what everybody else is selling in the pet jewelry market. Most people aren't talking about who's making the jewelry. Most people aren't talking about the quality. Most people actually are selling a bunch of cheap crap. So that actually works in my favor. It seems like there's not a real middle market for what I'm doing. There's either cheap stuff that you buy from China, or there's handmade stuff made out of gold that are charging $800 for. So I'm going to try to fill in the middle of that market is where I'm headed. But my unique value proposition is that they can upload an image of their dog. They can help employ part of their purchase goes towards helping mothers, and it's a high quality product. It's a good gift. And I'm struggling now. Just so you guys know, this whole thing is a work in progress. It's not like I have all the answers and I just know exactly where it's headed. What I'm struggling with is I don't want my brand to be only about pet remembrance, because I feel like that's going to limit my market. I do think a lot of my business will come from people who just lost a pet, but I also want to help people show their love for their pets that are currently living. And that's kind of more of the gift side of the market, the way I see it. So I hope that helps.
I can elaborate on that one a little bit. It was about clothing, right?
Yeah.
About the value proposition. I mean, pretty much clothing has been my thing from the very beginning. And so I just think about, in particular, who asked about it? Was it Jill? With the clothing?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think so.
Think about the image you want to portray with the clothing. This is an easy example, but if I were like marketing Spanx, right? The value proposition would be that you look amazing because you're wearing this shapewear that's comfortable and you look great in everything that you wear. Well, so think about, like the value proposition of having the camo clothing would be that, you're super trendy and, it's a fashionable look, or wherever, like if you're going with the mudding crowd, like what's going to speak to the mudding crowd about camo, right? Like, you're going to look cool, and you think about the things that you're using to really speak to that audience and what they want to feel like when they're wearing those clothes. And a lot of it is just the persona you're trying to give off, right? Like
something like fashionable hunting apparel for everyday wear.
Yeah, like, and I like to just say, like, it's to express their personality. Like, there's a certain reason for Fast Life Full Throttle that, you know, one of our poor designers, I keep telling him that I want the logo to be meaner. I want it to be more aggressive. And there's a certain look I'm going for. And so in the copy, to speaking to those people, that's what I'm going to play to. You want to feel edgy when you're wearing our clothes. You want to feel like you're riding at, you know, you're going through life fast, and you do things at full throttle, and you just use words that have the connotation that you're looking for, right? I guess good adjectives.
And I see that as also being your unique value proposition, is that you understand your market. If you understand your market and you're giving them, you know, you're selling that attitude, or you're giving them something that they can't get somewhere else. You know, that in itself is unique. Your product can actually be the thing that is unique. So if you're doing camo, you know, sports bras or whatever it is,
exactly,
that you know, it's something that they can't get anywhere else, and that in its unique value proposition.
It speaks to that girl that, like, there are legitimately, and I'm borderline it. Camouflage for me is a basic. It's like having a black t-shirt. It goes with everything. And so that's even another value proposition for those girls out there that want a piece of camo for every occasion, or, you know, there's a lot of ways you can, you know, just kind of spin it.
I think you could probably look at the athleisure, because that whole thing came about, you know, like in the past 4, 5, 6 years. But I mean, hunt leisure. I mean, I know that sounds cheesy, but that's kind of another way to look at it. Athleisure, hunt leisure, whatever. Yeah.
And think about what you're selling too. So let's say you want to do camo and you have leggings, right? You're going to look amazing and you're going to be comfortable. So, and especially when you're wearing camouflage, right? You're probably not a floral girl. So you make things like that even more obvious and more exaggerated on your brand. Sick of all the florals and pastels? Rock all of these crazy camo colors. You know, you kind of use that in the way that you're describing things in your messaging.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps a little bit. It doesn't have to be anything big like creating brand awareness and saving the world, right? Like, the value propositions are very simple things that just make us buy.
I just want someone to decide for me. No. Nope. You do it. You lay in the bed you make. You got to do it. You got to choose one.
You don't want one of these squirrels leading your...
Do a dartboard. Yeah. Good Lord. Let's see. My niche is aprons. On the feedback page, I was asked if I was going to niche down by men or women. I don't think so. Is that okay? Absolutely okay. I think that's fine. You can target men and women with aprons. You know,
Sure.
When I think of men aprons, I'm thinking Grill Master and all those kind of types of designs. But the unique value of that is that, I mean, how many apron stores are there? It's kind of, if you start a store that's, you know, amazingaprons.com, that in itself is giving people, you know, ease of finding what they want, and you're also niching down to providing things that just aren't available everywhere. And
to, you know, even just like the way that you how do you say it, you almost can create a repurposing of the apron, so to speak. And that can be unique. Like, for instance, if you have 2 aprons that make it seem like a his and hers date night for cooking, right? That would be a really unique way to get even more traffic. It's his and hers, and it might be like, I'm the better cook. I'm the better cook, right? And you market it as, you know, have a fun date night in, it has a recipe for doing fondue at home. I don't know. And then, you know, or it's a cookie baking club, or, you know, I showed you guys the picture of my aunt and cousins at Christmas time, right? They all wanted to have the matching cookie baking t-shirts. There's tons of events around where aprons could be used too. And
what about like hemp-based aprons? You know, that could be something. Where
there are whole shows now on cooking too, in different genres, right? Like you could even scale it down to, like Aaron had said, grilling. But it could be for his and hers and everything about grilling. It could be aprons geared towards, a category for vegans and a category for, like, my friend's like a straight up carnivore. I don't even think he eats anything else. Like,
yeah, what you're going to find with that too, with aprons too, is there's going to be like ancillary products that you can add, like the stuff that you cook on the grill with, that you can throw those in and.
Absolutely. Yeah, and think about it too, like when you have those, 1 or 2 aprons that maybe like take off, that's when you make those decisions like Duncan just said, where you bring in those additional products like, all right, this one's selling like crazy. What can we complement it with?
Yeah. Amazing Aprons is actually a really good name.
Yeah.
Is it available?
It's gotta be taken, I would think.
It's not available anymore. I just bought it.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen my new apron store? Let's see, amazingaprons.com.
That's a really good name.
It's available for $1,611. Let's see.
We need to figure out how to set up a notification so that when they don't register in 7 years, we get a notification.
We're all more like obsessed with buying domains now.
I'm not. We had a bunch of squirrels earlier today in the D4D room. Everybody was sidetracked. I see somebody saying, I'm still grinding on logo and brand name. I had to start this course on a time crunch. I have a high traffic niche that I do not care for, but I'm going to play like I will run with it. Do it and sell it.
Yeah.
Just go through the process and sell it. And guys, if you're stuck on a logo, seriously, pick a color, make a rectangle, and put a type font over top of it and make it a different color. You do not have to obsess over this. This is more along the lines of get it done and, massive imperfect action. You can always go back and change all this stuff.
I had that, for the past several months. I think I put in hipster logo or something, and it came in with free hipster logos. And it was like, choose a shape. Okay. Right. Choose a font. Type what you want. There you go. It took 30 seconds. So
by the way, amazing-aprons.com is available. So if you're ever getting stuck and you don't want to pay $1,200 for a domain, put a hyphen in between the words, and a lot of times it shows up as available. So you can get amazing-aprons.com for $8.88 on Namecheap. Let's see. The ones that are most memorable are harder to spell. Verde. The ones that are most memorable are harder to spell. Yeah, that's actually a good thing to keep in mind is when you're creating your brand name and you're thinking about domains, think of how it can be confusing if somebody is if somebody just hears the name, how will they type that into the URL? So I know veggie. What were some of the ones in the veggie? I can't remember what they were.
Joy, veggie.
I can think of a bunch of different ways to spell veggie. Actually, veggie, VEGIE, IEY. So you try to be somewhat aware of that when you're choosing something. Let's see. The ones that are most memorable are harder to spell. Let's see. Can you tell me if there's a way to see what colors are used on a website? We did that. My name's for a home decor website. Decortopian, Bella Styled, I Can Decorate.
Ooh.
I kind of like I Can Decorate.
Me too. That's the one that I was like, ooh.
What is it sounds to me that you're heading towards the wall art combined with pillows. And wasn't there one? I can't remember. I think there's an interesting thing there. I was considering doing something for interior designers at one point who need to color coordinate stuff. So, imagine being able to shop by color as opposed to design. And that's kind of where I had in my head is, I know a couple interior designers who they're always looking for something that fits a space. So if you can create a piece of art or something that has a specific color palette that matches what they're doing, they normally don't care about price just because it's not their money. They're normally spending somebody else's money. So I always thought the interior designers would be a good market for that. But
I love that idea, Aaron, with organizing it by color too, because it is a nightmare when you go to a home decor place and you're working with whatever, a primarily purple room, and you need to find things that accent that, but they don't frequently categorize things that way.
Right. And if you were going to do it like that, then you could do some sort of a domain based around that where it was colorfirstcanvas.com or color first creations or something like that, where you're telling people,
Color my home.
Yeah, what are the paint swatches or the chooseyourswatch.com or something like that. Something that you could tie in with the home decor type of thing with that.
Are you gonna keep saying decor?
What's that?
Are you gonna keep saying decor?
Decor.
Decor.
Decor. I don't like Decortopian so much.
Decor.
Decor. Is it decor?
I say decor.
Decor.
Yeah. Decor sounds like a midget from, or like an elf from what's this fantasy?
Decor.
That's their nickname, Decor.
Let's see.
What do you got, Decor?
Decor? How decor? Decor? Whatever.
It sounds like a Lord of the Rings character.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I couldn't think of the name of Lord of the Rings. But like an elf from Lord of the Rings.
Okay, decor.
Hey, David Buffalo's got one that I'll touch on. I found it in the group, but it'll take some time to explain. But whenever you guys are ready, we can do it. But
I'm just going to.
Did you see the side question here? We have a Q&A one that came up at the bottom, and it just was asking about custom cat. So
what about
next to the chat box, just custom cat appears to be the best match for my niche. Has anyone used them, and what is their experience?
Yeah, and almost everything I do is off of Custom Cat.
Me too.
I like their stuff. They have their shirts. They're just a good company. I had some issues through the holidays with them, but any company that you do that does volume is going to have issues. It's just I've had people had stuff stolen off their porch, and just that's not Custom Cat's fault, but
it's quarter-4 mayhem, no matter who you choose.
What's really cool is they actually did last year. I had a bunch of broken coffee mugs, and this year I didn't have one broken mug because they changed their packaging. So if you're doing mugs, but
is it just Shopify right now too for the integration?
No, I think you can order with them through a spreadsheet, but I don't do it. I have it set up through Shopify, and I've got a custom thing that I do with them. But you can also do customization stuff on your Shopify store with them, which is really cool. So you could have, the blank lives here and do wall art and have have it fill out a name. Somebody could type in their name and do that. So they do some pretty cool stuff.
And I think it was flip-flops that you told me they had that I wanted.
Yeah, they might have discontinued those. They actually dropped some products from their catalog recently. And I was thinking, I think pot holders is one of them. But I haven't, the one thing I haven't checked on them yet with is the canvases. I'm told that their canvas stuff is really, really high quality, but I just haven't seen, so I can't say whether it's good or not.
This is just a quick aside. I just happened to see that Guten is accepting beta users for their Etsy integration. So I know a few of you, like I use them for Shopify. So also make sure you look at them as a, potential Shopify partner, but know that they're also unrolling the Etsy one now, Etsy integration. So that's cool. Let's see.
My niche is funny, snarky gifts for brides. Right now, my logo is my name and the champagne glass. Any suggestions for a logo? When I think snarky, I see a specific font in my head, and it's very it's kind of a fat, curly. I don't know how to describe it, but I see there's a specific look in my head of something that's snarky, and champagne glass might be good. How do you convey snark to the logo?
Well, like I know with text though, for me, it seems like the font should be almost like what's the 80s font? There was there was an album that had like this epic 80s font that's like all like very sharp. That's what I picture. Very sharp, almost not graffiti, but graffiti like with sharp edges, like you're being loud and snarky and inappropriate. That's kind of what I think of.
What's the name? I'm curious of what the name is. It says they have my logo is my name and the champagne glass. I don't think it's your personal name. I think it's the name of your brand. But let's see if they pop that in there.
Snarkybride.com or snarky-bride.com is available.
I think of it, like Queen Snark or something like that. like when I think of a bride.
Yeah, Queen
or
of
Snarkzilla, because Bridezilla has become such a term,
Or here, how about this too? I also picture it like you have, what's the old saying? You have the mouth of a sailor, right? Like you swear like a sailor or something. So like going down that route too, like a pin up with a potty mouth type of a thing, where it's unfiltered bridal stuff. That's kind of what I think of too.
Hey, if they're going after Snarky Bride, snarkybride.com is not available unless they bought it.
Maybe, yeah. Well, and the other thing is, if you're offering champagne glasses, then I think that makes more sense. If you're offering, if one of your products is going to be glassware, that makes more sense than it would if you're not. So I think
you need to have one that says "Cheers, bitches." Those are the types of things that I would put on there, are those sayings that come out, during those events.
I always say, it's my party and I'll bride if I want to.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
Let's see.
That's going to be a fun one to build.
Yeah, I could get pretty snarky with some of that. That is how I designed pop sockets, colors that match with. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I am the camo, not camo one. Okay, names. We talked about Darlene's. Jill's upset that I don't have all the answers. Sorry, Jill. I'm wondering if I just got some cat. Yes. The camo, not camo clothing, Jill. Yes.
Hey, the one David, I believe it was David Buffalo was asking about was, he said he's got a niche that he wants to dive into, but he wrote a pretty long question, but basically what he's wanting to know is, does he have to nail it down and do all the research right now? And I guess I could copy and paste this in there, but it's pretty long. But I think to answer your question, David, is that you can work at your own pace on any of this stuff, and if you feel like you need to research it deeper, and it's going to take you more time, I mean, you don't have to complete your brandability, or your brand itself at the same time everyone else does. The training materials and everything, you can always go back and review later. So if you feel like you need more time to research it and dig deeper into it and maybe come up with some, you were talking about some type of algorithms or mathematical models to trade futures with that you were wanting to replicate that mathematical model for. If you think you need more time for it, then by all means, just, come back and review the materials as you need it. It'll all be in the training area. So just to summarize summarize the answer to what you were asking in there. That's what I would suggest on that.
And also, I would just say, David, just keep kind of moving along. I know that he was out for travel. I think he was in England, and I think what he'll find too is during the coming weeks, you just never know when one week's going to take you a little bit longer than others. And some of the participants will find week 5 easy, whereas some might find week 7 easy and week 5 difficult. And so I think you're going to find little pieces in there where you're going to get time to kind of get caught up. But like Aaron pointed out earlier, follow along as much as you can and just take some imperfect, massive action. And even if it's not something that you're super married to, passionate about, and want to grow forever, then, at the end, just sell it. Get rid of it. And then now you've gone through the process. You've pushed buttons. You've done everything. So now when you go to spend the time on something that really resonates with you, you know how to attack it.
Hey, David, PM me too. I want to learn about this mathematical models that you trade futures with. I want to hear more about that. But that's something that you actually put in the group there. I want to hear about what you're doing with that.
Let's see. I think we have more questions.
Yeah, Amy had a question. She said, I'm looking at strength training for women, had originally thought the brand name Be Happy, Lift Heavy, but now as I niche down, thinking brand may be snarky, sarcastic, so not sure the brand name fits. Thoughts?
Say the name again, Christina. What was the one she originally wanted?
The first one was Be Happy, Lift Heavy. But now she's thinking that she might go with more of like a snarky, sarcastic approach to strength training.
I mean, I definitely think that is one way to seriously separate yourself in that niche right now, for sure. I'm going to see, I guess we'd have to think about, I don't know. What do you guys think about the name though? Be Happy, Lift Heavy is an awesome name, but I'm not sure for the snarky route if that really does it justice.
It doesn't. I don't think it would work for a snarky, kind of sarcastic.
I feel the feeling I get with Be Happy, Lift Heavy is super like motivating.
Mm-hmm.
More along like general motivation about like getting through things that are tough. I'm going to see if I can find something though.
I feel like it's a different direction if you throw the snarky in there.
Yeah.
Doesn't it seem like that's headed another route?
Yeah. And is it lifting or fitness?
It was strength training for women.
Training. Okay, perfect.
I saw, while you're looking at that, Bree, I saw somebody put in there, is this the week we lock down our name? You need to be getting close because next week we'll be setting up some profiles and stuff like that. So you're going to need to start honing in on a name very soon. Let's see.
I'm going to think on that one. I think I can come up with something interesting for the snarky lifting.
Okay.
I will return to that. And that was Amy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I struggle with value propositions this week. So what would be unique about my products? Funny, snarky bride gifts. If I'm trying to stand out from others selling the same thing. Customization could be something. I don't know who you're doing your sourcing through, but if you're doing something through Print Tech and you can offer customization, or through Custom Cat, you can do personalization on Shopify as well. So I think a lot of the stuff that I've seen in the bride niche and the wedding stuff, none of it's really personalized. That might be a way for you to differentiate yourself.
And almost
And I do,
almost any niche, right? Like I think that we take that a little too much for granted, that we can
yeah,
personalize stuff. We don't realize that the rest of the world has no idea that we can do this so easily, and personalization is hot for people shopping. And so no matter
it
what
will
niche we're
always
in,
be.
that could be a value proposition for us, right? So for motocross, the personalization of, motocross mom jerseys or necklaces, just about all of us can work that in as a value proposition for what we're doing with pod.
Yeah, I think 2019 will be the year that a lot of people start to figure out personalization. It's just it makes a product way more valuable, and you can charge more for it.
So then when you guys are creating these value propositions and you think about the fact that there's personalization, start peppering these words in, like creating lasting memories, celebrating. I go to like thesaurus.com and I'll put in like celebrating, right? And then find as many synonyms as I can. So then when I'm writing my mission or writing copy on the website, I'm infusing all of those words that kind of contribute, to the whole, brand mission I'm trying to portray there.
Right. I mean, so if you're doing bride gifts, it could even be custombridegifts.com or something like that. Like just using that to stand out a little bit more in your brand name.
Mm-hmm.
Or custom bride champagne glasses or whatever it is. I think being custom is a unique proposition right now for most niches.
Anything that's making us different from what's out there. And it might even be that it's not out there. That's what's different. We're the only ones offering, said service, whether it's personalization or whatever. And for others, it might be that we're providing a certain item better than someone else, depending on what niche you're in.
Hey, something else that everybody can think about as well, because I know we're all thinking, print on demand and all that stuff. And that's fine because that's what most of us know. But I remember when I first got started online, I followed Pat Flynn for a while. He's got Smart Passive Income. And if you haven't heard of him, go check him out. He was killing it a long time ago. He's still killing it. But, he created a niche site. He got into a niche duel with one of his students, and he created a security guard website to where he was doing referrals with other security guard courses. And he ended up building this thing up. I don't know if he still got it or not, but I know it was extremely profitable for him, and he ended up developing partnerships and then teamed up with one of the people that actually created a curriculum around how to become a security guard. And he had it set up for each individual state because the security guard training and qualifications are different for each state. So you could go in and click on a map, and then you could pull up the curriculum for it, and you could go and buy that course. So you don't just have to be thinking print on demand or anything like that. It could be something that maybe you have experience in that you could build some type of security guard's very broad, which is awesome, and that's why it blew up really well for him. So you could be thinking if you have some expertise in some area, it doesn't have to be just print on demand. So keep those things in mind as well.
And that's something I want to create a video for you guys, and the squirrels in the group will go crazy like I do with it, I'm sure. But like those affiliate offers, where do you find, things maybe not even Amazon related? Like, can you find a course that someone has already created that is about, becoming a security guard, and then they're offering an affiliate for it, right? So then you would sign up for the program, put it on your website, and now you're like selling the program, plus you're selling complimentary t-shirts with it. But like, you didn't make the program, you're just getting a little piece of that. So what I can do is create a video for you guys of all of the different free accounts that I use to become an affiliate, where you can go through and then search like woodworking, right? Leather crafting, beading, wherever you are, you can find applicable affiliate offers to put on your site.
Affiliate stuff is also really good in if you're going to do emails. If somebody comes in and buys your product about camo, and then you have a link to some other camo related site or something that is similar, then can actually make pretty good money just pointing people in the right direction.
Yep.
Hey, here's a security guard one that Pat Flynn did. I'll just share it in the chat here.
Somebody, Kim says, what do you think of Chunky Ginger or 5spices.com for my Asian food? I would be careful with Chunky Ginger because there is a, what is that? What do you call that? Ginger is a slang for redheaded people who have red hair in the States. So I don't know if you're targeting the U.S. What's that?
It becomes so you got to be careful when you search some of these because they're
Chunky
fetish things.
Ginger would not probably be a good one. I like 5 Spices though. I like 5 Spices a lot actually.
I do too.
I like the alliteration of colorful canvas. Colorful or color your canvas or something like that. It's decor, not decor. Tomato.
No.
Decor is heading back to the Shire.
No, it's called
decor. I like decor because it sounds like D4. Decor D. That'll be our next.
It's all gonna be. It's gonna be all curtains.
I did not ask the question, but they had holiday issues. I heard. I didn't have any real issue. I'm assuming they're talking about custom cat, but maybe not. Yeah, I mean, if you sell any kind of volume during the holidays, you'll have issues. It's not a. It's just something that happened. You know, but I love them. I like custom cat a lot. Be happy with. Okay, we did that. Pillow Profits has flip flops too. That's good. It was me that asked the question. They have tie dye and what's an Ogio backpack? What is that?
I have no idea, man. This redneck has never heard of it.
Ogio backpack. Oh, it's a brand name, apparently. Huh. Okay. Maybe Print Tech can do personalized canvas. When you said of that, I thought of the Grinch. Okay.
Oh yeah, Ogio's golf, right?
I used to have a domain with a hyphen, and I regretted it because people don't know what a hyphen is anymore. And if you say dash, they think you mean slash.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, it's something to consider. But if it's,
hey, I've got a great story on that one. It's like one of my music domains that I had was just I am Duncan, and I thought I was picking something simple, right? Try explaining that to somebody. No, it's not I am. It's I, the letter M, Duncan. I'm Duncan. And they'll be like, oh, you mean it's I am Duncan? And I'm like, no, it's I'm. So I thought I was doing something that was simple. It's caused mass confusion. I'll never do it again.
Yeah, it's something to be aware of. I bought the domain for Snarky Bride. Oh, okay. So they got that one.
Cool.
Or Snarky Bide. I think they probably meant Snarky Bride. You can also create a free account at Canva and browse their logo templates. Many of them are free. Yeah, and then this next week, Placeit. I can't say enough good things about Placeit. They have so much good stuff in there. It is, how much is it? $30 a month or something?
Yep.
But if you need help, and I actually created some of the training for next week with Placeit. I like them a lot. There's a ton of stuff that you can do, and I think it's worth every penny. But if it's something where you just need it to try to knock some stuff out, just sign up for a month and then cancel. They probably will send you some sort of a discount after that too. I would think. I don't know if they do or not, but places that know what they're doing do. Let's see. Bree shared some custom engraved coasters. I would love to know, is there a pod for those? Custom cats are printed. They're not engraved. I don't know if Print Tech has engraved coasters. Do you know, Bree?
I can't remember, but I know Guten has some different coasters. Let me check Print Tech.
I don't remember coasters at Print Tech.
The other thing you guys need to that you can also look at is personalizationmall.com has them for $6. But if you're gonna do, you can do stuff like that. You can actually use people on Etsy as your print-on-demand providers. So if you go to Etsy and you find somebody who is doing custom engraved coasters, you can always reach out to them and say, hey, if I want to add this to my site and I want you to be the person who does this for me. So, and strike out a deal at a lower price, or even at the same price. If you're building a brand and you can sell it for more, then you just keep everything in between. And it's the same thing as print on demand. You don't actually have to do the work. You just have to let them know that the work that needs to be done. And then you also need to make sure that they are doing it in a timely manner. So it's a kind of an extra step, because most people on Etsy aren't technically a business, and they're doing stuff as a hobby. But you can find a lot of people on there who make Etsy their full-time gig, and they can fulfill a lot of stuff for you. So there's people on there who have engraving machines and make buttons and all kinds of crazy stuff. So don't think that you just have to stick to the traditional print on demand, the Print Tech, the custom cats and all that, and the Gutens and all that. You can actually source other stuff. And because you just have a brand, you can actually sell it for more. And it happens all the time. I'll make it later. I don't know what that means. I have a lot of stuff going on. It is proprietary, but I can give you okay. I think that's in regards to the trading.
Yeah.
That's my guess. Be snarky, lift heavy. I don't think snarky is, I don't think that pairs with lifting. That's just my gut. I think you still focus on women. It sounds like the original niche was women lifting, correct? Or strength training.
Yeah.
I would focus more on the strength training, and then you can have snarky items in there. But I don't know if I would make the brand or the domain name snarky right off the bat. I think you could definitely include those products.
About just being real, authentic, true to yourself, and then
right, and being like strong woman, or strong lifting or something like that. I can see how you can make the whole brand female oriented and focus on strength and training. But I would, and you can also provide snarky items in there for sure. But I would make the main brand more about women strength training.
Yeah, she clarifies a few comments down. She says that maybe snarky isn't the right word. Maybe just thinking female weightlifting, empowerment, and cuss words. So
even things like look for other words too that are like not necessarily snarky, but like grit, tenacity, diligence. Like look for other synonyms too that kind of convey that strength that you want to portray.
Yeah.
And snark, like Aaron said, snarky could fall under that. There is a question over in Q&A too. When you say you can sell the brand when you're done, what does the overview look like for brand building and flipping it? I've heard someone say last week 12 to 18 months after you get some sales. I know I just say 12 to 18 months to give people more of a realistic view of what it actually takes. Some of the marketing that's out there acts like you can build a brand overnight and sell it tomorrow. to build something substantial, you usually need that much time. The other thing is, you know, at least from our experience, you need to have some documentation and some processes built, because you're going to sell this to someone and it's going to need to operate at that level. And so that's why we also say it does take some time. Now, do some brands take off super fast, and could you flip them in a shorter amount of time, a longer amount of, yeah, absolutely. You could flip it, at the end in 12 weeks if you want.
Absolutely. I mean, you could build a website and put it up for sale and see if somebody bites on it.
I put one up today, right? I posted in the group. I bought the one website. I put some random little shell of a site on there and listed it for sale. We'll see what happens.
I've got, and Bree, you turned me onto this company, Empire Flippers, but I'm flipping one of my businesses on there now. And those guys want a minimum of 12 months, income that they can see. And then I've got two others that I'm flipping right now on flippa.com, and they don't, you can build a site today and put it on there tomorrow. But if you can get some traffic to a site, you can show, the revenues increasing and it's got no potential in it, then anyone that's buying it's going to see it's on an upward trajectory. So Empire Flippers, from what I understand, and I might be wrong, but I've gone through all the vetting process with one of my businesses, and it takes they want at least 1 year of earnings, or at least be in business for 1 year. And then, the earnings don't have to be tens of thousands of dollars every month. It could be, a few $100 a month. But Flippa, you can do it at any time. And there's other ones out there, but those are the two that I've used so far. So I hope that helps for, whoever's asking.
Empire Flippers is more for bigger brands, I think.
Yeah, they want all the business logistics, and this. I've gone through the same processes that Duncan is way farther into right now, and looking to make actual sales. But I've had them evaluate a couple of mine, and same thing. Like anything less than 12 months over at Empire Flippers, they don't really want to deal with quite yet.
Yeah, and here's the other thing too. If at any given time you think that you're going to flip, I mean, if you're sitting here thinking right now, okay, I'm going to build this thing up in the next 12 months, I'm going to flip it and get out from under. And even if you don't think that you're going to flip it, my recommendation, because I've run into this with two of my businesses that I'm selling, is that if it's not built on Shopify, where you can easily change out if you're taking payments through PayPal or any other like Stripe or anything, make sure you set up a completely new branded PayPal account and use that for your Shopify store or anything that you're doing with your brand. Don't connect it like I did. I was just like, you know what, I'm going to use my primary PayPal address, and I'll get it transferred over whenever I make the sale. Well, on one of my softwares, I can't do that because all the customers are set up on some recurring payment types of things. So I'm not able to actually take. The new buyer would have to get all of those customers to re-opt in.
Right.
So when you're building a brand, make sure that you go and set up your own PayPal account for that brand, so that in the future you don't run into the mistakes that I just made. It's a big mistake, and it could potentially prevent me from selling one of these businesses that I have. Mic drop. Boom.
I know.
And I've called PayPal about it. I called Stripe. The PayPal won't let me transfer it. I'm like, can't you guys just transfer these customers over? I mean, and the reason I don't want to transfer my PayPal account over is because it's an aged PayPal account. It's like I've got a high limit in there. There's a lot of trust in it. PayPal's not going to shut my account down if I get $30,000 or $40,000 in it at once, because they trust me, and I don't want to lose that. So it's like, man, I'm stuck unless I don't know what I'm going to do on it. So don't make the mistake that I made.
That's a good point. I'm actually adding that to one of our weeks to make sure we cover it. Let's see.
Now, Shopify, I don't think it's that difficult. I think you could just change out a PayPal address in there.
Shopify has their own market now.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where you can list it and they help you sell it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Let's see.
Hey, I'll tell you guys this, though. Bree turned me on to Empire Flippers, and they've been nothing but awesome. So if you get a site that gets some traction or something, those guys are really good and very thorough. My experience has been great with them so far. I'm going to get more into it. I think all of us, all four of us, we're all looking at, building assets a year or two in the making and then selling.
Well, it's just a nice little payday, if you can make money and then grow something and then hand it off to somebody else at a profit, always good.
Yeah.
Brandy is having trouble with a brand name for women in sobriety. I want to be less in your face and more subtle. God/scripture. I keep going towards God intoxicated. Thoughts?
Let me see. I've got the domain name checker up in the background.
Hey, I've been seeing this one online called 1 Year No Beer, so check that one out.
That's interesting.
Yeah, somebody's doing something with that one. I saw it on like CNN, not CNN the TV, but on their blog. I saw it somewhere. I can't see it, but I can't recall where I saw it at. But it's very interesting. It's called 1 Year No Beer.
I really like the God intoxicated, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think that one's cool too. I'm on that expired domains website, and I just typed in like sobriety to see if there were any words that would maybe.
My only issue with the intoxicated is that that's typically a negative word. Does anybody else feel that way, or is it just me? I don't know if that's.
Yeah.
When somebody's mentioned as being intoxicated, I think of like a drunk asshole. Like if somebody's I don't know, and that might be my, it just might be my perception of it. But that's something that I think might be worth considering. Trying to think if there's any scripture or any kind of. Maybe look at the testaments of the Bible or something that you could maybe tie into that. If there's a certain
there's like, for instance, what I'm doing right now, Brandy. If you go to expired domains, which Pete showed us, and I went to deleted.com within the filtering system, take a keyword like sobriety or God, and put like sobriety.com. And then what I'm doing is I'm going down through and I can see everything that's available within certain parameters of, say, like a length of 4 to 12, where it includes the word sobriety. So, for instance, this is an available domain, mothersinsobriety.com. Or,
I kind of like that.
Yeah, there's a couple. Let's see, sobrietyeducation.com is available. And then what I did was, I say, okay, maybe I don't want to go with sobriety. Maybe I want to go with intoxicated or something along those lines. Put that in. And then go over to thesaurus.com and find another synonym and come back over to this, deleted website aggregate and keep plugging in keywords until you find a couple of standout phrases. You could even put in some of the scripture, and then just follow it up with .com and look for anything available with that keyword. There's some good ones in here. Even like 12stepstosobriety.com. And I know you might want more of like emotionalsobriety.com is on here, or something, an adjective maybe.
I'm looking up synonyms, but I think that's a good, you're going to have to dig a little bit on that one.
Okay, for instance, this is long, but this is kind of what I feel would work. AmazingGraceSobrietyHouse.com. Way too long, but it kind of captures the essence of Amazing Grace Sobriety. That's kind of an uplifting, positive, somewhat related to, your faith.
I don't even know if you have to have the sobriety thing in the.
No, I don't think so.
I think if you go more subtle by, like women of grace or something like that. You could tie in the, graceful to me is very feminine. I think that's a feminine word. Or elegant, or I like grace.
It could you could even use like struggle, right? Like from kind of like the idea of from rags to riches, but like from from struggling to more than surviving type of a theme. From struggling to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Strength.
Yeah, something like that, to just really like killing it in life and doing something amazing. Like use themes like that. Thriving, yes. That's what I was thinking of.
Women of grace is taken, but I like the
here's a good one. $sobrietyclub.com.
Yeah, there you go. We're going to add that to our list. How about, this is a bit long though, but sobrietyfellowship.com. Fellowship of something you could do.
Ooh, somebody has 12 steps of grace.
I like that.
Oh, I like that. Did somebody put that in, or is that available?
Yeah, somebody put that in. Let's see if it's available.
Fresh sobriety.
12 steps of grace is available. $8. I like that.
That's a neat one.
I like the idea of tying in the messaging of grace and being sober. I think that's a pretty natural transition.
Yeah.
You can there's some good messaging that I think you could have there.
Yeah.
12 steps of grace. I'm sure grace of God is gone. 12 steps.
That's not me in there saying, yeah, I'm going to go buy that. Somebody else has got my name.
Yeah, we've got a couple panelists. We've got like 4 Duncans on right now.
I just don't want anybody to think I'm going to buy it or anything, Oh,
no, geez, I have so many, so many potentials. 12 steps of grace. I like that, actually. I like that a lot. Go down that path. Start thinking of other maybe words that might resonate with your audience. And I like how they typed in the 12 step. I like that. I like 12 steps of grace. It's somebody who knows that whole process will resonate with that. And but it's not super in your face. I really like that. Whoever put that in there.
That's a strong name.
Yeah,
Melissa.
I like it too.
Melissa brought that up.
Good teamwork. Yeah.
Let's see. What else we got? His name's awesome. Okay. Chunky means something else. I'm a chunky ginger. Somebody said I'm a chunky ginger. Yes, ginger is a redhead too. Yes. Okay. Ogio is a brand. Okay. Is that a really popular thing that I just had no idea that existed? Ogio?
It's a golf. I think it's golf, right? Golf line. Once you saw the logo, you might recognize it.
Somebody said big in the geek crowd, so maybe it's like a gamer or techie type of thing. I'm in the gymnastics niche, a site where you can buy apparel, jewelry, etc. for gymnasts, gymnast moms, or coaches. I went through what feels like hundreds of brand names over the last few days. Major thanks to Bree. I think I have settled on Perfect 10 Gymnast. Thoughts? Also, on the domain name, would it be better to spell out the word 10 or use the number 10?
I like that name.
I like the number, I think.
Yeah, me too. Because I think of ratings.
I would definitely, I think I would use the number. And now, that being said, I would also go out and buy the other one and just redirect it. And we'll get into that stuff later. But
Jill just raised a good point, though. Just make sure that it's still a 10-point rating system.
Oh, did they change it?
I'm not sure. She said she wasn't sure if it's still 10 or not.
Interesting. I think, hold on, before I even say this, let me check something real quick. Okay, yeah. So, for example, I went out and my main site is Dr. Wigglebutts because it's shorter, but I went out and bought Dr. Wigglebutts as well because I don't want somebody else sucking off my brand name promoting it. So, something to keep in mind. I just want to make sure I had it before I gave everybody the idea. Can you use hashtags and domains? I don't know. I don't think so. One thing to know with hashtags is I tend to not use them when I'm naming files or anything because a lot of times hashtags cause trouble with code. Just a little poly pointer that I've picked up over the years.
Good point.
Never thought of using an Etsy vendor for custom products. Wonderful idea. Oh yeah. I mean, just look at all the custom stuff on Etsy. And the thing is, people on Etsy to build the crafts and stuff, but they don't know anything about building a brand. Most of them have no clue. So you can come in and take something and just use them as your source. And if you find somebody who's really good and, you can work with them on packaging, saying, hey, I'm going to send you a bunch of these flyers, and I would love it if you could put this flyer in when you ship out this custom necklace or something like that. So,
which, Aaron, that also brings up, just if somebody already has a scenario where they have someone local, that's the same sort of a thing where I think about, for instance, there's a Amish community here and they have a toy store that's absolutely amazing and it's all wood. And so they could do the shipping and the production and I could go build a brand around that for them. And then they could do the shipping, so you could even set this thing up with local, if you have a local connection to something.
For sure.
Hey, not only that though, and Christina, this one might be a good one for you because I know how much you like Ohio State, but Aaron and I had a license we sublet a license for the University of Kentucky and the University of Louisville.
I remember that.
And we were able to sell licensed products online, even though we didn't hold the licenses because we were subletting the license. So let's say that you're a fan of, Ohio State. Like, for example, the Kentucky basketball, University of Kentucky is really big where I'm at because the state of Kentucky doesn't have a professional basketball team or any sports team for that matter. And so what I did is on our site, I found a guy in northern Kentucky that made these wooden signs that he licensed through the University of Kentucky that were selling like hotcakes, man. And so he was at some mall up in northern Kentucky, and I found him on eBay, and I said, hey, can you sublet me your license? He said, just buy it through me. As long as it's officially licensed, they're not going to have a problem with it. So if you guys are fans of any sports team, don't put Ohio State Buckeyes collectibles.com or anything, but, you could put, I don't know, something that's related to the team or that would be familiar.
Ohio fan apparel or something.
Yeah, exactly. And then you could go out and find and arbitrage products and stuff and build a brand around that.
Nice. I didn't know.
Which, by the way, we did a giveaway for it. I'm looking at the giveaway right now. I still get people who try to enter the giveaway today. It generated 1,208 leads to give away one piece of what was it? A necklace or something, or no, it was earrings, I think.
Yeah, and what Aaron and I did on that is we would sometimes we'd buy tickets to a football game, and we had these fan pages built up for University of Kentucky and University of Louisville, and they still exist. The Kentucky one's one of the biggest on Facebook. I still have it, but I don't do much with it anymore. But we would put these tickets up on the page to say, enter to win 2 tickets to the Kentucky football game or basketball game or whatever, right? And our whole thing is once they opted in to try to win, we were building up this huge, massive list that we would turn around and email them shirts and different offers on all the time. And so
Nice.
Aaron and I were actually making money doing that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There was a comment about that great idea. I know a ton of crafters here in Vermont that would be perfect to try and partner with for handmade home decor items. Yeah, I even think of little things that you can only find in your neck of the woods too. So, you know, like we're known for certain things around here. So that's always been on my to-do list to build a brand about this region, because so many people take, which Jill knows, so many people take off from here and then they want little pieces of home. And so I could set that up so that I don't have to do any of that shipping.
If you've got some, as you're, and this is for everyone, and this goes into any niche that you're diving into, if you've got some cash that you can keep yourself afloat, and you can basically buy your customer base, which is essentially what Aaron and I used to do with the Kentucky and Louisville stuff, and we could afford, you know, to spend $100 on 2 tickets, and they weren't great seats, but they weren't horrible seats either. But
they were free.
yeah, they were free to whoever won them, right? If you can afford to do that, and even take the approach that Bree said, let's say you want to get into the Amish gifting world or whatever. If you can come up with a unique selling proposition or have something that people want and market to them and be able to pay for advertising, pay for the product, and build your list while you're building your brand, you're going to have a customer base that as soon as you're ready to launch your brand, you will be able to go, hey, you know, this giveaway is sponsored by blah, 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 right? And you can set up a ClickFunnels for this for next to nothing. And you can start running advertising and put your brand on it and give something away, start building up your list. And when you open your store, then you can start emailing these people offers and then add value to whatever they're doing, whatever they're interested in. It could be, you know, say for Christina, it could be, hey, sign up to win 2 Ohio State football tickets, and you know, you're going to be on our list, and we're going to send you all kinds of Ohio State football and basketball, you know, and collegiate updates and news, right? So you keep doing that throughout the year until football season comes around. And when it comes around, you start mailing T-shirts and posters and, you know, signs and all this stuff, and you make up your money on the back end. You can do that with any brand, and your power will be in that list, because that's your customer base, you know.
We are actually covering that in week 9 and 10.
So, we are? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Guys, giveaway is one of the most powerful ways to build a brand, because you get good shares. If you're doing paid advertising to it, you're collecting emails. You can sell people immediately. As soon as you get their email address, you can turn around and sell them something that you know they're more likely to buy, because they just gave you their email address, because they were looking to win, you know, hey, you know, win this mug. If somebody gives me their email address because they want to win this mug, and then on the thank you page, I say, hey, get this mug today for 30% off. You just get they're telling you, I want it because I want to win it. And then when you give them that ability to do that, you know, if you give them the ability to buy it, there is a certain percentage of people who are just going to snap it up right then.
Yeah, it's what they call a self-liquidating offer.
Yeah. And even if we break even on that, we're totally happy, because we can now email the rest of the list and say, hey, day 1, I'm going to tell you why this mug is so amazing. Day 2, I'm going to tell you what everybody else who bought this mug has to say about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just little things. Giveaways are good. We'll cover them. Don't worry.
Yeah, and you maybe scratch yourself on the head and go, well, if they signed up to win it, but they choose to buy it, I'm going to be emailing them, you know, how do I get them off the list? Well, the way that you do that is with automation, and Aaron and I can show you how to do that. When someone buys a product, you can have automation going on in the background and say, take them off the freebie list. Now they're a customer because they want to buy things, and they'll never see the freebie offers anymore. They'll only see the paid offers, you know? So there's ways to do this and segment your customer list out. But like Aaron said, we'll get to that down the road.
Okay, very helpful on the flipping comment. Okay, I take income from one I purchased from a company. I want to build one for a company. I do not want to build a job or buy a job. Absolutely, I agree with that. Great information on the PayPal. Yeah, that's a big lesson actually, and it's a good one. Agree with it being negative. I agree with it being negative. What was probably education that we were talking about. I like the name for a Christian line.
Someone did have a question here. It says, do we need a business license first? then set up a separate PayPal account.
No, you don't have to have a business. I use a different email address normally.
A lot of the times, they just take your social security number, and it's almost can be interchangeable, like as far as PayPal is concerned.
Yeah. I was on with PayPal like 2 weeks ago, and I asked them, "Is there anything in your terms of service that's against me having multiple PayPal accounts?" They said no. That's what the guy told me. Yeah. So you can take your name and set up under different email addresses, six or eight different.
I have 4.
Yeah,
I have 4 of them.
My thing is just don't attach all of your personal stuff and your business stuff to one PayPal. You're going to get screwed.
And they'll try to lead you that way too, by the way.
Yeah.
Like and also you don't necessarily have to hook it up to, like they'll prompt you, hook it up to a bank account, hook it up to this credit card. No, hey, let's add another one. And they almost like make you feel like you have to. And there's a lot of things you don't have to. Just go in there and you can set it up and be limited as far as you don't need to add your 12 bank accounts and 8 credit cards like they're going to prompt you to do.
Yeah, and you don't have to add a business name to it either.
Exactly. Yep.
Since people are asking about names, Bree, can you help me with one for quarter midget racing? That's, what is that again?
So I talked to my husband Nate a little bit about it because which it was so funny because he probably thinks like, whatever, I'm like a clueless wonder as far as the classes of racing, but he equated it to like sprint car, and used words like dirt track racing, oval racing. So like kind of going down, even kind of the way I went, throttle, accelerator, think of words that would indicate driving fast, driving hard, racing, fuel.
See, I'm thinking my mind goes to, they're saying that it's a 1/4 the size of a full-size midget car. So I almost think you could build a brand around QM racing. I don't know if that's available or something, but
for quarter midget.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but I like the idea of the scale, and I like the idea of using the idea of small but powerful. You know what I mean? Like,
what about even like quarter scale racing?
Yeah.
I would look that up and see what the search volume is on that.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm trying to think of things along the lines of like, because it's a smaller vehicle, maybe even something that plays on that. Quarter.
That's what I'm saying, like small but mighty, or
yes,
that's actually a good idea.
David and Goliath, or I don't know. I'm going with that whole, the size of the dog, bark and the bite and all that crap. Like what I'm saying, like
hey,
big
what I would do on
small
that,
packages, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? That idea.
You know what I would do, Melissa, is I would go to some of those races and just start hanging out and start eavesdropping on what people are talking about and pick up some of the lingo if you don't already know it.
Or go to forums. Forums are a really good spot to find verbiage and vocabulary that people in your niche use.
Yeah, her son races them, so she's at the track all the time. If you scroll down to the bottom, she's given us some words. I guess that her son's racing name is the Blaze, so maybe working that in somehow.
Yeah, but that's for him. I'm trying to. You wanted to. I mean, you can definitely incorporate it. I mean, everything I do is orange and black because I'm a Bengals fan, so it's not like you can't, incorporate yourself into the stuff that you're building. Mighty midget, I'm trying to get away from the word midget because you had said that you had issues with that on Amazon, and there might be issues with it in other places that we don't know yet. So I'm trying to not put that in there.
Maybe are there other words that they use too? Like I'm making this up because I have no idea, but like small scale racing. Something that would be more encompassing of smaller vehicles that race, or words to use in place of midget. See, that's a problem though, because that's like the technical name, right? Quarter midget racing.
Yeah, but that's why I'm thinking if you do QM and then you can build, get them to your page where you talk about quarter midget. I mean, obviously they're going to know at that point that it's QM is standing for quarter midget. So maybe you can, I see somebody saying quarter midget emporium. I don't really like the word emporium, but I mean, just QM racing, I would think is probably available. Let me see.
Yeah, it's taken.
Is it?
Yeah, I thought maybe it would be too.
QM racer or QM, what are some of the other words she has?
Hey guys, I'm offended. Can we change it to LP racing?
What's LP?
Little people.
Oh. Oh boy. Let's get a safe space for Duncan over there. We're gonna get a puppy.
Vertically challenged.
VC. The Blaze quarter midget parts.
Well, how about the word a word that just popped into my head for small would be micro.
Well, you could do something like quarter scale racing because it's a quarter. And did we already say that? I kind of like that vein too.
Yeah.
QMracer.com is open.
Ooh.
Are you offering parts? Some of the what are the products that you're thinking about selling with this? Clothing and gifts, as well as parts and accessories. So I maybe QM. You could even QM Superstore or QM Central, something like that.
How about even? Oh, well, I guess this would kind of like eliminate the accessories or not really include them, but even using like the word custom, right? Like QM customization, or not customization, but custom QM racing, or maybe something along those words or along those lines.
What if you did Q and M as the capital letters of words, and like quality made, and you could have the Q and the M as the highlight of the brand, and then racing. So quality made racing or something like that. I'm just trying to think of different ways to get around the
other words. I was just thinking of using the word like speed, something along those lines.
How about speed minion?
Ooh. Actually, other than running into probably troubles with Minion,
Yeah,
that would work. I like when they're like two words like that. Boom, boom.
yeah.
Let me see if minion is. I mean, I know the
Mini racer.
quarter scale racing is available. I don't know.
Hey, you could get the trademark on speed minion as long as it's not the minions. Speed minion.
Right.
You could do that.
As long as you don't have a yellow mascot with glasses on.
Yeah, if you were to register it for racing, speed minion. I like that name.
Oh, who do you live next door to, Jill? She lives next door to a Bengals player.
Does Cincinnati still have a football team? I thought they ran them out of there.
No, thank God we fired Marvin Lewis and the whole staff, because we need some change in the old Natty. Oh, Clinton Bowling? Nice.
Speed minion. I'm telling you, that's it, Melissa.
She said she was taking notes. QM Kids. I kind of like that. Nice work on your logo, by the way, Nancy. I liked a lot of your logo mock-ups. I thought they were really good.
Jill had a question here. She said that for her camo brand, she found a word that works but thinks it might be too hard. It's camouflageable.com, as in everything can be camouflaged. What do we think?
I like the idea of it. I definitely am worried about the spelling too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I've looked up things online for camouflage, and I'm a pretty good speller, and I misspell it all the time.
How about putting something with camouflage, like just, I think of words like camocommunity.com or camo.
CreativeCamo.com is available.
Ooh, custom camo. Or
with 2 M's.
I found
But
3.
is camo 1 M? Maybe that's why it's available.
I think it's 1.
Yeah, I found 3 earlier. One was Mrs. Camo, She Camo, and camothat.com.
Ooh, I kind of like camo that.
Camo what? Camo that? I like camo that.
Yeah.
I think that's actually kind of a cool. Somebody else said that too. I like camo that.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people who are saying they like that.
Oh, okay. Camo chic. That's cool too. Or camo chick.
I like camo that. I think that's
you
cool.
You can always spell camo with a K too if you read it.
That's true. But some of the diehard. How do the rednecks feel about that, Duncan? Tell us.
Well, it's a little sacrilege, but we would put up with it.
Let's go to our resident redneck and see what he says.
Yeah.
It's probably already stolen by the Kardashians. It's their next line. Camo with a K.
Oh, yeah.
As I'm playing with my pocket knife, right? I'm literally playing with my pocket knife.
Are you skinning a possum for dinner? Is that what you're doing over there?
Hey, I'll tell you, this is off subject, but talking about possum and skinning them. A friend of mine, I went to.
I don't want to hear the story.
It's classic. I went to Thanksgiving. I was touring in a band at the time, and I was out on the road, and we were coming through Chicago, and it was Thanksgiving, and I didn't have anywhere to go. The other guys were going to hang out with some friends. I'm like, I don't want to go hang out with those guys, so I went and hung out with this other friend of mine. And so we're all sitting around this big, long Thanksgiving dinner table, and they're all from Chicago. They're all straight up Northerners, right? And so they're all like chuckling on me and be like, country boy, Southern boy, redneck, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just laughing, going along with it. There's probably like 25 people there. And it gets really, really quiet. My friend's mom says, I have to ask you something. Do you guys really eat possum pie down there? I just went with it. I was like, oh, yeah, of course we do. I love it, man. In fact, I'm missing it,
Every Friday.
Yeah.
Nancy had a pet possum when she was a kid.
I babysat a skunk once.
Oh, my God.
That's the closest I got to a crazy pet.
My uncle used to have a couple pet skunks.
Yeah, so did mine. He'd go out of town. Who's going to watch the skunks?
Yeah.
That's my family.
Camo this or camo that? What do you guys... See, I almost think we could do... Camo this is kind of some attitude behind it. Kind of like,
I like that.
oh, yeah, like, suck it. Camo this. Like, I'm picturing Johnny Cash. You know the picture where he's flipping off the camera?
Yeah.
You guys seen that picture? Camo this. That's what I see in my head when I hear camo this.
It would be, honestly, something like that, too, would also be a good campaign slogan for camouflage in all shapes and sizes, for tall girls, short girls, like every body type, like camo this. We've got camo for everything.
Yes.
You could even do wall art that is entirely camo and just subtracts a word, something like, hunt hard or something, something crazy with the, with camo everywhere. She bought both of them. So, all right, now you'll have to decide a little bit later. All right. What else we got? We have any other questions?
Here's one here. My niche is hummingbirds, and I'm competing with some people who take their own photos or design their own art. I'm trying to think how mine will be differentiated or how mine will stand out. I don't see a lot of .coms per se for the products, more Cafe Press and Etsy products.
Are they taking their own pictures?
I think what they're saying is most of the competitors will do that. And so how is she, what should she do to stand out from that?
Erin's got those Photoshop scripts, man. They make awesome looking paintings, man. So if she's taking, or he or she's taking their own pictures, Erin can probably share that script or something and show them how to make them into things that look like paintings. They look awesome.
And then Jill exactly pointed out the personalization can be that other piece that the other hummingbird related websites don't offer. Yeah. I know, like, my grandma is just absolutely loves hummingbirds. And so, like, to add that personalization feature to whatever, you know, she would get as a gift would be really cool.
Absolutely.
I'm just looking at some of the hummingbird stuff that's out there.
And differentiate by product too, right? Like, if you look at all of the different hummingbird products, maybe there's one, like, I haven't looked, but maybe there are no dish towels, right?
Hummingbird blanket has search terms, so there might be something there as well.
I would imagine that a hummingbird blanket would probably be about this big. I mean, the shipping cost on that would be super low.
Yeah. You can put that on your site, blanketminion.com.
There's also bird baby blankets. That's interesting. Hummingbird gifts. There's hummingbirdsplus.org. Let's see what they have.
Plus, it would be cool for the hummingbird store, you know, to have other, like, to tie in, like, affiliate things as well, like some of the feeders and.
Yeah, person. Yep.
That's good. Yep, you're right.
Guten has some cool, like, magnets. You could do really pretty magnet sets. Maybe look at Guten or Printed Mint have some things that I think would be really trendy products that maybe the hummingbird people aren't using it. Yeah. Even like cosmetic bags. I mean, I know that that's not like a direct correlation, but I know they sell really well, little, you know, cosmetic bags. That would be cool with hummingbird art. Yeah.
What do people associate hummingbirds with? I know what we have. We have a hummingbird here that goes to our waterfall, and we always say that, we joke that it's my wife's dad.
Yeah, like remembrance, right?
Yeah, that's. I mean, what was weird was right after he passed, I saw a hummingbird, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Like, for whatever reason, I attach him this little fat hummingbird, you know, and whenever he comes in and goes into the waterfall, we always say, "Oh, you know, your dad's here." Like, that's. I don't know if everybody feels that way about it, but for some reason, I feel like people have a special connection to hummingbirds. I don't know what exactly that is, but there is something that's unique about them.
There you go. Shine on jewelry with hummingbirds and personalized, you know, names, remembrances. And the same sort of thing. I had a friend pass when we were really young, and his mom loves butterflies and, you know, believes that, you know, he visits in that manner, and she would go crazy over a beautiful little butterfly charm with his name on the back. You know, it's a good idea, Erin.
Yep. Those who was it? Was it you, Brianna, who said does Print Tech have yard flags?
Yes, they do.
So that would be good for hummingbirds too.
Yeah. Actually, that would be cool.
Even you know, I know a lot of the hummingbird art is just really pretty, but you could even take it a slightly seasonal route too. There's like, my grandma loves some hummingbirds so much, she would buy a flag for every season that had a hummingbird on it.
Right.
You know, so.
Yep.
Hey, before we
Duncan, do you have that email, Duncan? I didn't see it.
Who, for ACO?
Yeah.
She said she's got to go. I thought we'd answer it via email, but I can grab it real quick.
I think she was talking about if we can do it on here. So we might as well do that. And then if anybody else has questions, throw them in there. We'll answer those. And if not, then we'll do ACOs, and we'll.
All right, here. Let me drop it in. doing a Japanese themed store, do you think it's better to do full English name, or is it okay to use Japanese word in the domain since target customer either speaks Japanese or wants to learn Japanese?
I would do English.
I would too.
Yeah.
If I want to make charity donations, should I choose a charity group that is related to my niche or any organization that I'm interested in? Supporting is okay. I would try to choose something that's kind of related to it. It would make more sense with the brand. Anti-human traffic relating, that would be related to it. Post-tsunami fund, yep, that would be good.
I think with human trafficking, it's like a wide enough thing that it affects every single culture on the planet. And so I think that's close enough that you could go with that. You wouldn't have to get as specific as a Japanese-based organization necessarily.
Right.
I like her idea of Japanese School in America associations. I think that's kind of you might even be able to reach out to those type of people, to those places and get traffic and or partnership with them. So that might be interesting.
Yeah, all of those are good ideas. So it's really up to you which I don't see a bad idea there, put it that way.
Yeah. Correct.
Hey, Pete Savage had motivating.com. Remember that, guys?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we mentioned this or not, but Pete, I don't know if you're on this call or not, but I would do that with all like canvas artwork, motivating phrases, do all of those types of things for that domain if that's what you're going to use as your brand, motivating.com.
Yeah. Have any of you seen Iconic? Has anybody seen that site?
Yeah, it's good.
That's very close to what I think Gary Vee actually bought into it.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find the domain, and I'll put it in here. No, that's not it. Iconic wall. Their stuff is all very hustle and all that kind of stuff. And they actually did on Muhammad Ali's birthday. They did a promotion that was pretty cool through that. Let's see. Here it is. Iconic. Iconic has a bunch of that. I see motivating.com as this, very close to it. For anybody who's curious. And it's such a great URL. I mean, you can do a lot with that. And look guys, again, it's the power of a brand. Look at what they're selling their wall art for. $90. And it's from $90. So the smallest thing that you can buy is $90.
When you look at it, there's nothing there that we could not recreate.
Absolutely. Yep. Without a doubt. In fact, I look at the stuff that they're doing and you're like, well, that's not really that great. Okay. Leave your excuses at the door.
I'm right there at the same time on that doormat.
What's interesting is the way that they play with texture on the wall. That's what I take from what they're doing. And this goes for whoever was doing the I'm getting feedback from something or other. I hear like a CD or something.
They're working on the main.
Anybody else hear that? Or am
I hear
voices in my head?
Must be Duncan. Oh yeah, he just muted.
His buddy's telling him that it's deer season.
There's a fresh possum.
You guys are funny.
No, when I am on certain stores, there are little pop-ups saying so-and-so in whatever state bought this product. Is this something that we will be able to do in our stores? Absolutely. That's you can do that on Shopify very easily.
Nancy, I have one on there that's like, hey, thanks for taking a look around. Message me if you have any questions, like a little bubble that shows up. We can show you how to do that.
Have any of you seen print-on-demand cargo pants? No, I have not. Okay. Anybody else? Are we? Hummingbird. Okay, I see the hummingbirds. Cool. Yeah, guys. This, just so you guys know, this to me, I think I was expecting this to be the hardest week as far as getting your messaging, getting the unique selling proposition. Those things are hard. And not expected to get it perfect. It's all a work in progress. My stuff will change, I'm sure, as I go through. And it's just good to be aware of all of this stuff as you're building out a brand. You know, what does your brand stand for? It's you know, you guys obviously know us from D4D. We're big on family. We're big on, you know, zigging and zagging, and we're big on doing you, running your own race. I mean, there's things that you've heard from us over and over and over again because those are the core values of our brand. So, you know, and those things have changed over time too. So don't think that you have to get everything right. It's more of being aware of what how you want your audience to perceive your brand. Somebody's, I can't remember who said it, but somebody said, look, if you don't tell your audience what they should think about your brand, they'll come to their own conclusions, and it's never what you want them to come to. So knowing what you want them to go to at the end of the day, at the end of the road, knowing where you're headed will help you mold how they view your brand. And that's what we're trying to do, is just get you to be aware of what your brand stands for. So that way you can start to incorporate that stuff in everything that you do.
And Aaron, you made a really good point, I think in week 1 or 2, along those lines, that once that stuff is defined, even though it's evolving, it just makes your decision-making process a lot easier. If it doesn't lend itself well to your brand, if it doesn't complement your brand, you don't worry about it right now. You don't focus on it.
Right.
Yep. Cool. We all good?
Yeah,
hey,
I think.
Hey, I'd be remiss to say that for anybody out there that missed it, we're actually clearing out a lot of, I don't want to call them old designs, but some of them are, some of them are a little bit older, but we like to keep our inventory pretty fresh. But we sent out a blast yesterday for anything. It's 50% off in our clearance link, and I'll drop it in here. So you guys want to get a bunch of designs, really, really cheap, but are just as good as quality as the other ones. I'll drop it in here for you. And also, we do have an affiliate program for things. So if you guys want to earn, if you guys got an existing audience or something that might need designs for wine glasses or shirts or whatever, message one of us and we'll show you how to get involved with the affiliate program, and you can earn some extra coin on the side. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Some of you may have missed the message yesterday about the clearance stuff, and many of you may not even know about the affiliate program, but we didn't mention it the past 2 weeks, and we keep talking about it. I'm like, yeah, we need to bring it up. We need to bring it up. So we're not trying to sell you on anything. We're just trying to make you aware that there's opportunities out there that you can make some money. There's also some opportunities out there where you can save some money for what you're doing. So I'll drop it in here for you guys.
Cool. And I had a 2 o'clock cutoff my time. So perfect timing.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And then those of you that are going down Squirrel Boulevard with me, I'll pop up in the group in a little bit here.
Yeah, don't send people down the rabbit hole.
We'll show them what I
Poor
do.
Lance is like, I have to do all my work. Oh, wait a minute, I'm going to go buy some domains.
No, poor Lance.
Do your work.
Lance and I are already up to shenanigans in a private message. Don't worry.
No, Christina hit it right on the nose last night. She's like, if I can go to a casino and spend $200, why can't I buy $200 in domains? It makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
But Luna just got home a little bit ago, so I'm gonna take a little break, but then I'll be back on.
All right, man. Thank you, guys. It was awesome.
Yep. Have a good rest of your day, guys.
All right, we'll see you.
Have a good one.
Hey.
Bye.
Again soon.